Okay, let's talk about how to import your old slides into this template if you want to take the slides that you've already created and put it in here, and then try to match it to the theme and to the template that we have created for you. Now, to do that, I have just pulled up some examples here from PowerPoint to go ahead and show you. And what I'm going to do is I'm just in the slide sorter view, and I'm going to think about like, hey, I'm going to choose some of these that I want to bring over. Now, you might have 2 slides, you might have 10 slides, you might have 60 slides that you need to pull over. You can pull over as many as you want. It's just that you're going to have to do a little bit of work to get it into the theme. So you're going to have to clean it up and things like that. So let's pick some here. Let's pick this. So I'm just going to select it. And I'm going to select this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm going to select all the way up to here, and then I'm also going to select this thank you. So from slide number 1 to slide number 6, I'm going to hold down the shift key and then just select them, and it highlights all of them. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the control key down, and I'm going to select the thank you there on that side of it. I could also say, I want to take this one too, right? So I'm going to select those. Now I'm going to hit Control C, and I'm going to go over to my theme where I have it. So wherever you have it on your computer, and I'm just going to start here from the slider view, and I'm going to put this, and I'm going to put it in the front so you can see how this looks. And that way I can keep everything else behind it. Now, you could delete all these slides off if you want, but you might want to use some of them. So you might not want to delete all that. So I'm just going to put this in the beginning by hitting Control V. As you can see, it pasted it into the beginning. And you can see it starts to pull over some things, and it keeps for the most part, it keeps the theme that you saw that it came over from the other side. So I'll talk to you about how to keep your master file size smaller when it pulls over this master template from the other template that I just copied from. Okay, so I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but just bear with me here. So what I'm going to do is I have those, but I want to pull over a few more. Maybe I actually have another deck that I did and some other presentation that I also want to pull together. I want to combine it a little bit. So I have this other one that I just pulled up from PowerPoint, and so I can show you this. So I'm gonna say, okay, well, here I want to pull this one. So I want this title slide. I'm gonna hold down the control key so that way I can just choose the ones I want. I want this one right here. I think I'm gonna pull this one over from here, and then I'm gonna pull this one here, and I'm gonna pull, I'm gonna pull this one. I'm gonna pull our team, and I'm gonna pull our thank you over. Okay, so I selected the ones I wanted. I'm just gonna hit Control C again. I'm gonna come over to my main template, the one that you have. I'm going to go ahead and just start from the beginning, and I'm going to hit Control V, and it's going to paste it over. So you can see already now it's starting to bring things over, but now I need to adjust it, or I need to set it to this theme in here. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. I'm going to start with this very first slide that I pulled over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the layout, and I'm going to have to choose a layout that's kind of close to this layout right here. So if I'm looking at this, I say, okay, I have a picture, I have some kind of title over here on the side, and then I have like some other things on here, but I want to match this theme. So I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to scroll up. I think it's going to be something like this, maybe this one right here. Well, that kind of looks nice. I kind of maybe like that, or maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want it to be this title. Like bring it over like this, so you can see it's changing it. Well, as I change the layout. So now maybe I want it to be like this one. No, that does. I'm gonna have to. I don't really like that. Maybe I'm gonna change it back to this here title slide the way it was, where I had a full picture here, and then I just have this on this, and it matches the theme that we created. Okay, so great. I'm good with this one for right now. I'm going to keep moving on, and then I'm going to go back and clean them up a little bit. So let's move on to this section divider. When I get to the section divider, I said, okay, this layout, I'm going to need to choose something different on here. It had a title, so you can see it had a title, some subheading here, and then some type of a picture here. So I said, okay, I'm going to come to this layout here. I'm going to look for something where it was like a title. So okay, maybe this title, content, and an image. So if I click that one, I see that there's an image there. I'm going to be going in there, and I'm going to be able to adjust that as well. For I'm like, no, maybe I don't like that. Maybe I want something a little different. Maybe I want title only, and I could adjust that. Well, no, I need that image in there as well. I want that image in there. I can do anything, but I'm going to keep it to this title and content, right? So you can see this title content, pull that image into right here, all right? So it pulled it into that image container that's in there. Now I move on and I continue to go through this. So I'm like, all right, this is probably something like a two column with an image. So when I'm on this one right here, I'm going to go to the layout here. I'm going to look for that 2 column. So see this custom layout with a 2 column, and it has an image over there. So it pulled that 1 column with the text over, and it pulled the image over. Now this one here has a title and maybe possibly 3 columns. All right. So when I clicked on there, right, to select it, I'm going to go up to the layout. I'm going to look for the one with the 3. With possibly the 3 columns in here. So I said, okay, this is going to have a title, subtitle, and there, and I'm going to pick this one. Yeah, it kind of moved it a little bit wonky, but but I'll go in there and I'll start to make the adjustments from there. Okay, so same thing with the comparison, probably a 3 column. So I just go up here and I pick my my 3 column. I put it in there. I move here. It says 1, 2, 3. There's 4 of them with a team. So this layout, I'm going to probably choose the column with the 4. Right? It really kind of adjusted from there, and I'm going to really probably have to do some heavy lifting on that side of it to work from there. Now the thank you, I said, all right, well, there's a thank you. I'm going to get to the layout. It has an image, 2 column, right, with an image to the left. Right? So I'm like, okay, a thank you. Do I need to go down here and pick a thank you from the thank you here? I could pick it from there if I wanted to. Or what I could do is just say, hey, I like that. It was really just a 2 column with an image. So I could do it from there. Or if I say, okay, no, let me go back to see what it looked like. I'm just going to return it back. It really is that 2 column with the image. Well, do I want that, or do I want it to be maybe a different thing? Maybe I want it to be like this for the thank you. You can have an image like that for the thank you if you want. Or I could have a 2 slide like this, right? Maybe I'll bring it back a little bit and go, well, maybe I'm going to do it. Maybe I'm going to just keep it a 2 column like this, and I'm going to keep it like that, and I'm going to fix it from there. So you can do it from there as well. So I would do this, and you could see, as I said, I brought in more slides from the other one. You just go through this, and you just continue to choose your slide, go up to layout, choose the layout that you want. Right? So maybe I want the one with the whole picture. Maybe I don't like that layout. Maybe I want this layout. Maybe I don't like that layout. Maybe I'm going to choose this layout. So I like this layout much better. So I'm going to keep this layout. And then I go to here and I do the same thing here. I choose a 2 column. I choose a 2 column layout for that point of it. Okay. This one has a weighted left. All right. So I'm going to maybe go to the layout. And I'm going to look for the one that was more weighted left on there. So you see this has that weighted left, and I maybe choose that. And oh no, that didn't really bring it over the way I want. So maybe I'm going to choose weighted right. Oh, that didn't really work the way I wanted either. Maybe I'm going to choose something like this instead. Okay, so it's the image with the words to the left on that side of it. And you just continue to go through all of this on this side of it. And you say, okay, this one had a lot of pictures, or a big picture. So I can go to that layout and I can try to find the one with just basically a big image. So see this custom layout with an image. I'll maybe choose that one with the image, and it popped it in there from there. So what I then start to do is go into the slides, and I'm going to then go to the normal view so I can look at this a little bit more. I said, all right, this seems to be fine. The image seems to be fine in here. The text, depends on what title text brought over for you. You can then change your text to whatever you want. Sensational sales team, and then you have you might have your subtext in there. So you just need to just go through this. Now, the one thing you want to do is after you get on this, click off of the whole thing. All right, so just to click off the whole thing, and then you want to go up here to where it says reset and hit the reset button on the theme itself. This way you make sure that everything is set within all of the containers. You can also do it by just making sure you click off of all of the slides, nothing that's selected, and you can hit the reset slide from that side too. Okay. Now I can go here and I can do that from here. I can just right click on here, hit reset, just to kind of make sure that everything's there. And I said, okay, I have this image that was pulled in. Right. I change my text. So make your changes to your text right here. So new text goes here. All right, and then make sure that if you section divider, the title that came up, you put your title in here as well. And then if you're like, hey, I like the image the way I want, or maybe you want to change the image somehow, some way, you can always drag it, right? You can do all kinds of things with it and move it around. Remember, it comes up here in the picture format. If you go in the picture format, you can start to do things from here. If you need to crop it a little bit, you just come up to that crop button and just make sure you press the crop button. So on that side of it, and then you can start to pull down what you need to pull down. If you hold down the select key on here, so if you hold down the control key with this, then what happens, it pulls it from both sides, all right? So you can see you can crop it from both sides from there if you want to crop it from that point on. Say, okay, I like that. Then you just click off of it, and this is where your image is from there. Just remember, when you want to make any changes to this image, you can make the changes here. You can change the height, the width, you can crop, you can rotate, you can work on alignments, you can do different things with borders, right? You can do whatever you want from that point on that side of it. Now, go on to the next one. Same thing. You just, sorry, I forgot to do one thing. When after you're done with all that, just make sure you hit the reset. So you see that it moved and changed changed it, and made sure that it set it to the theme and it set it to what you have it down. So just make sure that you hit the reset button. It's critical that you hit that reset button on each one that you make any adjustments to. Same thing here. I would adjust the title, subtitle, any text that came over weird. All right. So like say something like this. This was kind of all over the place. This topic might need to be like something up top here, like a header or something. This went in the text box. Maybe this needs to go in the text box. So I just copy this, and maybe this needs to come over. And Control V and say, okay, wait a minute, that's not how I want it. Remember, use your tabs. You can sub-tab and go through, and you can make your text however you want. This gives you the quick way to go through and adjust all that. And if you needed this here box to go, or you needed like, wait a minute, this I just need to stay in that box, I'm just going to go ahead and take this out of here. So I'm going to delete that out of here. Maybe this topic right here, that's where topic needs to go inside of this, right? So I just copied it, pasted it. Remember, just go in front of this and hit your tab. It's going to give you the different sizes that you need. And if you need to go backwards, I just go backwards with mine to get to where I need to go. And if I need to make any adjustments, because like, wait a minute, this is bigger, I want it to be 24, just like that, I just highlight it and just move it up to the size you want by just moving your moving there. You can move these all around. You can make changes to this. You're like, wait a minute, that's too big. I don't want it that size. Right? Remember, there's text over here, so you can start to move your text around, move your picture around, delete things off, anything you want, and you can see it's scrolling through. Wait a minute, I don't want that gear on there anymore. I need to make changes to all this. So I just start to move through each of my different slides from that point on. Okay, so this is what you want to do to start to work through your slides and make adjustments. You're going to have to go in and you're going to have to clean each one up, but at least it resets it to each of the theme that you want. Just make sure when you're done with anything that you make sure you go up and you hit the reset button to reset it to the theme after you make all the adjustments that you need. And remember, it depends on how you have this, and which layout you've chosen will depend on what it does. So I can choose that. I can make changes like, wait a minute, this isn't working. I need to change it up. You can change the layout and just hit the reset button after you're done adjusting everything and making the changes to what you need. Okay, so that's how you start to import your old slides into PowerPoint, and then how you start to make the adjustments. Again, you're just going to have to clean them up on your slide a little bit, because nothing ever just transfers over really quickly. Now, let's talk about how to keep your master slides or your master deck here and this theme light. Okay, so let's talk about how to keep this light, meaning when you pulled over your old slides, what happened is you pulled over some new theme things or some new theme stuff from your other place you copied and pasted from. So if you hit the layout, you can see, look, after all of this here, there's all this stuff that brought over. That was brought in and it was placed into this master theme. It's basically put in here. All right. So what happens is you need to go ahead and start to clean that out to keep your file size smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to view. I'm going to go to the master slide masters. All right. I'm going to scroll down here, right, to where it is, where the end. So you see this do not use layout after this master. Keep this these guidelines and this grid lines in here for yourself. But I'm going to come over here, and this is where I'm going to be able to start to cut things out. So what I do is I would select it, I would right click on it, and I would just hit cut. Okay, it allows me to cut those pieces, to cut that out of the master. So I no longer need it. I will only want that theme that we provided you with. So then if I right click on it here, again, I can cut. If I right click on it again, I just go and keep going through, and I keep giving the ability to cut. But oh, wait a minute, something's wrong. I can't cut this one. Why not? Right. So if I'm like, all right, well, why can't I cut it? I just scroll over it, hover over it. You'll see divider slide 1 layout used by slides 11. Oh, wait a minute, I'm using that. So if you made a mistake and you forgot to make an adjustment to something, it won't let you delete it out. So you can go back and go, oh, wait a minute, slide 11. I can go, all right, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close out of the master theme here. I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna scroll down to slide 11. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't make the adjustments there. I didn't use a new layout. So I could either change the layout, or if you're like, look, I don't want the slide. I don't need that slide. I didn't need it. I can just delete it. So then I can just come up here and right click and then just hit delete slide, and it's gone. Okay. Now these aren't going to let me do it either because I didn't make any changes to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete out a whole bunch of slides so you can see how I make changes to the rest of those of that template. So you can see how I reduce it. So I'm going to take this all the way to right here. So I'm going to hit Control Shift, and I'm just going to hit delete, and it's going to delete them. And then I'm going to be able to come back up to view here, go into the slide master view, scroll all the way down to the bottom, because I'm going to start to delete out, and I'm going to start to cut out all the things I don't need, right? So I'm going to continue to just work this all the way until I delete all of it out that's beyond this yellow and this grid line. All right. So once I cut that out, then I know that I'm going to be able to minimize the size of my theme template and the file size. So that way I don't have this gigantic file size. I just close out the window and I'm back to my slides, and then I just continue to move on from there.